Okay, so I am going to try to model a TV. I did a time lapse for you last night, and I appreciate the fact that you were watching that. And I figured maybe if there are some relative beginners out there that would like to have a real-time video, I would do that. And I think I'm well enough to get through that. So the reference image is available. Just follow the download link in the description. And I brought it in. I just pressed S2 to scale it twice. I moved it back a little bit on the Y, so I could look in front view and bring it a plane and go into edit mode and rotate it 90 in the X and get the approximate size. That's not going to be exactly the same as the image, but we'll do what we can. I'm going to grab this edge and pull it out to the side, and I'm going to grab this edge and pull it out to that side. So we've got that. It's pretty good. I press 1 so I see my vertices, and I'm going to bevel them with Shift Control B. I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull down to about there. That's 2 vertices, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going for more than I usually use. I usually use 5, but I want this relatively smooth. So I'm going to create this depth right now, not against any diagram. I'm just going to do it something like that. So that's probably okay. And I'm going to separate this piece out to make the back. So I'm going to press P and enter. So I've got that. So I'll just pull it out of the way a little bit. All right, I'm going to select that front face, and we're going to create an indent here. I'm going to press I to inset and pull in, holding Shift to about there. So it's about the top line there. And then I'm going to press E to extrude and pull in. And then I'm going to separate this out. P, separate by selection. And I've got that piece there. Okay, now let's do some beveling on this. Let's come in here and Shift Alt and click this edge, this back edge, and I'm going to press E and S and bring it down. I'm going to put that there so that I can bevel that edge, make it a bit rounder. And this one and this one. And I'm going to Control B and pull. That's 2, 3 is what I want. Shade smooth. So we'll do that, and then let's work on this a little bit. For this back piece, I'm going to select it and press I to inset, pull in a little bit like that, because I'm going to take the top edge here and we're going to extrude it back just a little bit, and then E and S, so that there's some kind of lip-like structure that could sort of attach. So grab these 2 edges and let's bevel those just with 2 like that. And then I'll take this piece here and I'm going to extrude it out a ways. I'm making the back part there. Just something like that, and S to scale, just bring it down. And with that selected, I'm going to Control B, pull. I have 3 edges. I'm going to roll it up to 5, make it nice and round. So we have that. And this piece here, I'll shade smooth. We'll work on the shading in a bit. I'm just going to pull that in so that would pretty much attach to there. Pull it out a little bit so you can see. Okay, I will put on weighted normal and normal's auto smooth on that one. However, some stuff may be flipped, so let's look at that. See, it's all flipped. So I'm just going to select everything and Alt in, recalculate outside, and this one is going to be one face, so I'm just going to flip that. So everything's back to the way I need it to be, and that's fine so far with this. Okay, so I guess we're going to work on this piece now. In fact, let's just focus on that in the background. So slash key. Take that one and period key to zoom in. Look from the front, go into edit mode and wireframe. What I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to press I to inset. I'm going to pull that in just a little bit. So that's kind of the edge. And then what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to pull in a little bit more. Then I'm going to press I to inset again and pull it down. So I've got a line pretty much at the top of this indent and one at the bottom, like that. Okay, now I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to come to Mesh Bisect because I can't put a edge loop in here because of the n-gons. So I'm just going to cut right through, just drag it through and straighten it with SX0. And then I'm going to move up and I'm going to move this line right into the middle. So I'm going to press GX and just slide it over a bit to about there. Control B, pull, and I just want 2 edges. And I'm going to try to make the width of this similar to the width of this. And that's going to be probably fine. Okay, so now I'm going to select in face selection that whole edge or whole space going through, and shift and select that. and I'm going to extrude back a little bit. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is add a bevel, and I'm going to go for 3. And I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to change the geometry, the miter outer, to arc, and that'll round that a little bit. Okay, let's have a look at this, make sure it's not flipped. Okay, it looks okay. Let's bring everything back, and let's take this and bring it into its position here. Something like that. And so I've just got the bevel. For shading, although we'll be doing a number of things, I'll put on weighted normal and normal's auto smooth, and that will make it look a little bit better. Okay, let's go ahead now and put on the cavity shader and switch this to both and drag these up a little bit just to make it look a little nicer as we continue to model. All right, so we have the indent. So far so good. Now what do we need to do next? I think we're going to do this part right here. All right, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to work off of this thing here. So I'm going to come in here, and in vertex selection I'm going to select, I'm holding down shift, the vertices of this curve. So we got those ones, get that one right there. All right, let's duplicate that, shift D, pull it out, P to break it out. So I've got that on its own, and I'm just going to drag it, and let's go into wireframe, and I'm going to probably S to scale it a little bit, and just position it somewhere that I like. Scale it a bit. That's going to be fine. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull it out like this, and then I'm going to extrude up to about there. I'll take this one, I want to extrude up the same height, so I'm going to switch this snapping to vertex. All right, I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to mouse over here and press Control, and that'll snap to there. And then with both of them selected, F to make a face. So I've got this, F to fill that in like that. All right, now I'm going to select these ones. This one's already curved. These ones are not curved. So I will look in wireframe, and I will press Shift Control B, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same. I'm going to roll up till I have 5, and that's good enough. Okay, we're going to use this to cut in, so I'm going to press E to extrude and pull in, and we'll get rid of the bevel on there. In fact, we don't need any of the other stuff on there right now. Okay, so I'm going to take this whole thing and pull it in until it's pushing in, and I'm also going to Alt-N recalculate outside, so to make sure my polys are facing the right way. Now we also need to make a little circle indent here. Actually, it's just the line itself. And so the way I'm going to do that is, just before I do this one, is I'm going to look from the front, and I'm going to bring in a circle, and I'm going to go for 32. I want it to be nice and smooth, this circle. So I'm going to rotate X90 and G to drag this over. I'll go into wireframe and scale it down a bit. I'm just going to line it up like that. I'm going to delete the bottom vertices. Take this, Shift D, rotate Y 180 to flip it. Pull it down to here, and then join these vertices up. So select them, F to make a face, F, select A to select it all, F to make a face for the whole thing. So we'll use this as a cutting tool as well. So E to extrude, push it in, make sure that it is in, something like that. Okay, but I want to make sure that it's facing the right way. Let's recalculate outside. Okay, so let's do them maybe one at a time. I'll select it all just to have it there. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take the main body here, main panel here, and I've got a bevel and I've got that on it. I'm going to add Boolean and drag it to the top and select that and apply, and I can delete that. And I think that's a little deep for what I want, so I'm going to select that face and I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. Something like that I think is okay. Is that what I want? I think I'll do an indent like that. Yeah. Is that what I want? Now, another thing that I could do is I could select this, and I could I'd inset, just pull it in just a little bit, and then I could E to extrude and pull out and just mouse over one of these vertices so that I would actually have just the line, sort of the indented line instead of the whole area. And I think that's more what I'm going to go for. But this one here, I'm going to do Boolean. Again, drag it to the top, take that, and I can delete that. And now I have a hole here, but I don't want to keep it as a hole. I'm going to select the edge going all the way around. Just make sure I can get there, that edge. And sometimes, yeah, here it is. There it is. Make sure you got that piece. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to press E to extrude, pull it in a little bit like that, F to make a face. And I'm going to bring my 3D cursor right there and deselect because I'm going to make a hole right there for the speaker. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to bring in a circle. I'll leave it at 32. Be nice and round, although you'll rarely see it or barely see it, but we'll just do that. And I'll bring it up a little bit and make it pretty much as big as I can. All right, this is going to be a cutting tool, so I need to give it some depth and recalculate outside to make sure it's not flipped. We'll take this, another Boolean, and select the circle. We won't delete it this time. We'll apply this and we'll take this and we'll just move it back out of the way. And now I want to come in here and select the edge. Takes 2 clicks to do that. Extrude back just a little bit. And I don't need to close it because the speaker is going to show through. I just wanted that bit of a beveled edge there. Okay, so now we'll use this to make the speaker. And so what I'll do is I'll take this and I'm just going to scale it in, push it in, delete that face, select that face. I'm going to extrude it out just a little bit. And then I'm going to press I to inset to make sort of an edge like that, and then I to inset one more time to make the part of the speaker that goes like that, and just pull it in. It's just a makeshift speaker. I'm going to extrude it out a little bit, and then Control B, bevel it back with a bunch of segments. We'll have that. Let's just bevel these edges, these sharp edges here, including that one. Control B, pull, and I want 3 in there, and I will probably put a Control 1 subdivision on there. And it's just debatable if I need another edge or not, just to tighten it up. But I think I will do it like that. And I'm going to scale this in the Y just a little bit flatter. Push it up to here. And there is a speaker in there. Let's double check whether or not anybody's flipped. That speaker might be. No, it isn't. Okay, slash key to bring everything back. I think what I'd like to do is to move everything up so that it looks like the feet are kind of almost on the ground. I can see things a little bit better. In fact, I'm going to move it out forward a bit. Okay, so that is what we have so far. So let's carry on by making these knobs here. Okay, and to do the knobs, I don't think I need 32. In fact, let's put them closer to, I don't know, closer to this at least. Bring my 3D cursor there and Shift A, mesh circle. I'm going to go for 22 vertices. Scale it down. Let's rotate X 90. And did I move it a little bit? Yeah, I bent it. Okay. Or I angled it somehow. Let's rotate X 90. That's better. Look from the front in wireframe and start sort of matching the size of this. Something like that. Okay. And this is the knob we're going to create, so it's going to come up, go in on an angle, and then the rest of it. So I'll go back into solid view. So E to extrude, come out a little bit. E, come out, but then angle it in. Something like that. E to extrude, we're going to come out again, but angle it a little bit. Like that. E and S come in to do that. And then extrude in one more time and scale it a bit, and F to make a face. Now we're going to bevel, so grab these sharp edges here. I'll go ahead and do those. Control B just with 3. There's 2, 3. We'll do this one with 3, something like that, and this one with 3 as well. Okay, we can shade smooth and Control 1, and that will be our knob. The only thing we may have to do is come in here, select, and I inset just to make that a little bit better. It's going to be okay. Let's take this and bring it close. I'm going to make an indent for these. There's going to be 3 of these knobs. Let's bring the 3D cursor there, but let's use 32 vertices, a circle with 32. So it's nice and smooth and round. Rotate X 90, F to make a face, and just, so there's, here I can do it in wireframe. Just a little bit bigger than the knob itself. I'm not really following the diagram for this part. All right, I'm going to extrude, back a ways, and flip this, and then look from the front, and I'll just copy this down 3 times. There's 1, 2, and 3. And we'll do another Boolean, and then we'll have a space for our knobs to fit in. Okay, so I'm going to take this and this slash key, make sure they're going through. It looks like they're almost not, so I'm going to take them and just push them through a bit better. Okay, select the main panel, Boolean, drag it to the top on difference, select that, and apply. I can delete those, and yeah, it went a little bit weird, so that's okay. What I'll do is I'm going to select the edges on this one, and I'm going to extrude them down. I can snap to there, F to make a face, and then I really want all these, and I don't need them that deep, so I'm just going to pull them out to like about there. So we're okay. Okay, slash key to bring everything back. Take this guy and push him down in there, something like that. Okay, I'll take this, and I'm just going to duplicate this down into that hole, and into that hole right there. Okay, so far so good. Let's have a look with nothing on it. Actually, let's just make sure nothing's flipped. I see those are flipped. Okay, select those, Alt-N, recalculate outside. Turn that off. Let's just turn this all off, and let's go over to a matte cap and just have a look. Okay, so far so good, I think. Let's do the speaker grill. So to do that, let's select the speaker and bring the 3D cursor there. We'll bring in a plane, scale that down, and rotate it in the X. Oh, it's not out far enough. And I'm just going to want it sort of under this indented area here. Bring that up. And, you know, I don't know exactly that I'm going to be on the diagram all the time. As I've said, I'll grab that edge. But we can see. I can't tell if that's the end of that, but I kind of, let me just see how big that is. I do want it overlapping the speaker a bit. All right, select it all, give it some thickness by pulling backwards. Doesn't have to be too much. Delete that face. Slash key to just focus on this itself, and we'll delete that face and that face. Take it, just make sure it's facing outwards. And in edge selection, grab that edge and that edge, and Control B and bevel, and I just need the 3. That should be fine. We'll shade smooth. Deal with shading later. Yeah, that looks like it could work. And then we could take that, and it's not visible through the side here or anywhere else. I think it's, let's make sure that it's, yeah, underneath. Okay, I'm going to duplicate that and bring it down here, push it down to about there, and then I'm going to go into wireframe, and I'm going to grab these and just slide them across. You can look at that now. There's a little bit of a gap, so I'll drop an edge loop in there, and I will just select those and pull them out, and that may be good enough depending on what angle. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see anything else. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to select a bit of it, actually all of this, Control L, Shift D to duplicate it. I'm going to pull it down here, but I'm going to break it out, and we use this to do the these pieces here. So let's go into edit mode and wireframe and box select the bottom, and then go back to solid view so we can see what we're doing. Pull it up till you get a thickness that you like, so something like that, and I can pull that up a little bit closer to there. All right, and it's still under. All right, and then we're going to take this and we're going to add an array in the Z, so just hold down Shift and pull to the left so it goes down. Zero out the X, something like this. So just adjust the distance, start increasing the array, and that actually looks okay to me. So you can see the speaker a little bit through there. So if you're happy with it and it doesn't poke through, take that, apply the array, Shift and Control J to join all that. And then if you need to, you can add a weighted normal and normal's auto smooth to fix up the shading. So that looks okay. So might as well put the little label tag on there, down there as well. So I'm going to just bring in a plane, bring it down here, scale it, rotate X 90, scale N to Z. Yeah, something like that. Scaling the X a bit. All right, something like that could work. Pull that out. Okay, I'll extrude back just a little bit and delete that face. Let's flip that. It was facing the wrong way. And in edge selection, I'm going to grab the corners and we'll bevel these with probably 5. It seemed like overkill. 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to select the top and I'm going to bevel. I could get away with 3. And I'm just going to take this and pull it in like that, and then I'm going to take both of those and Control J and join it. So we have that on there. Okay, let's go ahead and get this part, the where the screen is. I'm going to select both of those edges, Shift S, cursor to selected. So my 3D cursor is right in the middle, and I'm going to bring in a plane, rotate X 90, scale it down, and I'm going to try to get the dimensions or the size of this thing here. I'm going to pull it out to this side here, and where is it there? Press 1 for vertex, and we're going to bevel, Shift Control B. I'm going to pull. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want that nice and smooth as well. We're going to use this to cut away, so give it some depth. Select it, Alt N, recalculate outside, and push that into the main part. Let's just select both of those and have a look at that. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so select the main panel, choose Boolean and drag it to the top, and select, and then apply. Get rid of that. All right, so I've got that there. I'm going to select again. Actually, I think I'm going to need to see what I'm doing here. Let's actually select that in the background and slash key. Okay, so let's make sure we select all of that. That's what we need right there. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extrude backwards a little bit. I don't really need the diagram. E to extrude, pull back just a little bit. Now I can look from the front. E and S, pull in. And it's not quite the same thickness, so I'm going to scale in the Z a little bit, pull that down, and that's a little bit better. It's not that critical, but. And then at that point I'm going to press E to extrude, pull back, look from the front, and then S to scale, and just pull it down like that, and maybe back a little bit. And I'll do one more thing that you can't see, E and that. And all that stuff that you just see is because of the bevel. I'm just going to take all of this and recalculate outside and merge by distances in case there's anything. I think I will probably take both of these edges and Control B and just put 3. It just sort of accentuates them a little bit more. Slash key to bring everything back. And how are we doing? Looks pretty nice. Looks a little bit like a microwave, but all right, with the 3D cursor right there, I'm going to bring in a plane. Rotate X 90, scale it down so it seems to fit underneath there, and scale it in the X like that. I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to want it about there, and I want to bend this, so I'm going to drop an edge loop there and there, select it all, and right click and subdivide it a couple of times. It's probably all right. You grab this central vertex right there, turn on proportional editing, pull, and then I'm gonna scroll my mouse wheel back to make a bigger circle about there, and just pull it like that. Turn that off, pull the whole thing back a little bit, and shade smooth. Now that may be flipped. Let's have a look at that. Oh, this thing's flipped. Okay, let's oh, I'll have to just go to flip. So that's fine. That's fine. Let's save. All right, so far so good. Let's do this knob or something similar to it anyhow. Let's come in here and just select there. And to do this, I'm going to use, I might use 32. I'm just going to stick with 32. I'm going to rotate X 90. Pull this up. Go to wireframe and just get the general size. I mean, this is based on your model really more than the reference image, I think. All right, that's good enough. So I'm going to do it there. I just pull it out though so I can work on this. And I'm going to extrude out a little bit. E and S, and I'm going to scale in a little bit. I want a bit of a lip. E, and I'm going to come back a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to scale down like that and pull it back. I suppose we could look at the diagram. I'm sure that's too much, so I'm going to pull back. I just want enough room that I can put some numbers on there. So I just want to do it like that for now. I'm going to come out a little ways, and I'm not really looking at the diagram now. I'm just doing whatever. I'm going to do that similar to the other one. Pull in and F to make a face. Let's take the whole thing and recalculate outside to flip it properly. And yeah, once again, just like in the time lapse, I'm not certain I like that edge, so I'm going to dissolve that edge. All right, so let's bevel. So this edge and this edge with 3, this edge with 3, and this one with 3. And maybe I'll come down underneath here as well with 3. Let's try Control 1 and shade smooth. And I inset to do that. Okay, and I do want it a little bit thicker, and so I'm going to, where am I? I'm going to grab, not that one, this one, and pull that down. So more of that, and I may even scale that in the Y. Okay, at that point, I'm going to do the grip sort of on the knob, the pattern. So I'm going to select all those faces and press I twice. I. This, let me do that again with my cursor in here. This does create a lot of polys, but I'm just going to do it anyhow. Pull in a little bit, E and Alt S, and push, I guess, whichever way makes them come out. So I'll do that. Drop an edge loop in there, Control B, just with 2, and just pull it towards the ends, not too far. Not all necessarily all the way. And we will have that effect. So it does create a lot of polys, I admit. So what I could do is, I can put my numbers on here on the dial. And yeah. And then what I was thinking of doing was coming in here, let's just look from the top. And I was thinking of getting rid of some of this stuff. So I'm going to Control plus a couple times. And if I do it to there, I lose that center one. What if I unselect that? And I just get rid of those faces. So I'll have that, eh? Not necessarily what I wanted. As a matter of fact, I could actually get rid of... What if I do only faces? And what if I got left in... Nah, I got those. No, I don't want to do that. Let's just get rid of all those vertices. All right, let's just rebuild a little bit of this. What's this? Get rid of those vertices as well. And I'm going to select the whole thing. And I'm going to try a grid fill. And that's going to put it in a better way. I don't have the subdivision on. Then I'll pull it. And what I wanted was that space right there. You know, I just wanted that space. I read my 3D cursor there. Sorry, that was a long way around. And I'm going to bring in a plane. I'm going to make a pointer of some sort. So I'll do this. And I will scale this in the Y. I will just start making this. I'm just going to extrude it out. I'm going to scale it in the X. And I'm going to come back in here. And we're going to scale in the X. The back part. No, that didn't work. Okay, let's just do it this way then. Okay. Let's scale in the X to make it wider. And this part a bit narrower. Maybe just SX. Okay, so we got that. And then I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to pull it down. Let's just focus on this thing and we'll get rid of the back. So I ended up doing this a little bit different than I did in my time lapse, but still very similar. I hope you'll find 3, this 3, okay, shade smooth, and so you would get that pretty much. Let's make sure we're like that. Let's double check here, everybody. Yep, Okay. So now what we could do is, yeah, I could take this, and let's bring this into position. I didn't make an indent for this. I just have that there, and I think still, I hope that's okay. So how do these look compared to these ones? You know what I might do? Maybe I'll make that ridge a little bit bigger. I'm going to control plus until I get out to about there. I'm going to scale shift Y, and I'm just going to pull it in. And I think I'm going to tighten this up by doing that. All right, it looks a little bit more like this. All right, at any rate, that's good enough. I'm going to take this and go in there and shift D to duplicate it. I'm going to pull it down to about here. And I'll just rotate it off to the side so it looks a little bit different. And keep saving. So everything's going good. I think it's all going good. All right, we've got these buttons in the middle, like they're sort of like programmable buttons or memory, you know, for certain channels that you elect, whatever. So let's do some of that stuff. Let's just bring the cursor relatively close and bring in a plane again. What did I do? A cube? Nah, I don't want to use a cube. I'm going to bring in a plane, scale it down, and in wireframe, I'm going to rotate and start getting the approximate size of these little buttons. It can be a little bit different, that doesn't matter. So I'll just do it like that, scale it down, that's fine like that. Okay, I'm going to extrude back, give it some thickness. We use this as a cutting tool. Let's select it and flip it, and then bevel the edges so it's getting ever so slightly rounded. Okay, this one and this one. Control B. I just need 3 probably. Might as well bevel the top as well while we're at it, because we're going to be copying these in a bit and using them as cutting tools and buttons. Okay, so let's go over to here, and let's just duplicate these by I. Shift D. A to select it all, Shift D, and I'll make the 4 rows, just like this. And one more time. Okay, so I've got all of those there. Okay, looks good. So just between those two, let's do a Boolean here on this guy again. Apply that. Take those and hide them. Don't get rid of them. And we have some indents. Sometimes you'll get a hole right through, and sometimes you'll just get the indent. And if you just get the indent, yeah, that's great. Okay, I want to make them a little smaller than the holes, though. So I'm going to switch over to individual origins so I can scale them. S to scale. Just make them a little smaller than the hole so you can see the hole a little bit. And I'll go back to median point and slash key. And we have our buttons, and they should be facing the right way. Yeah, everything's going well so far. Cool. All right, let's just quickly do the legs. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do on the bottom of this, if I wanted to do some kind of a platform or these. And this is what I came up with, just to make it easy. So let's just go for 16 vertices and end on with nothing. And we'll scale that down, look from the front. And I'll move it over to here, go into wireframe. And I'll take the bottom edge and I'll scale it down. And then just position it and get the size to match up pretty good. Good enough. And now we will seal the end. F to make it facing, Control B, and add maybe a couple more segments. Shade smooth. And just make sure that it's making contact here. I'm going to scale in the Z a little bit, actually, make it a little bit longer. And just push it in. Okay, so that's fine. Control 7 to look from the bottom. I'm going to take this. We're going to move it up here. However, I'm going to be putting a cut through this, so we may have to move those later. But I'm just going to do them in the X and the Y. And we have our feet on there as well. Okay, now there is some stuff I want to do on the back, but I'm not going to do it in this video. And I may only do it in texturing. These holes, I don't feel like doing it. But what I will do the top part for you here with the antennae. And so let's select there. And I'm going to bring in a cube this time, believe it or not, and Control 2. I'll shade smooth, and I'm actually going to apply that. And then I'll come in here, and I will get rid of the bottom vertices. Take this and scale it down a bit. And start matching the size of this. Kind of about there. And I'm going to do another one, Control 1, and I'm going to apply that as well. And then I'm going to come in here and grab this bottom edge, and I'll do that again in a second. Just bring it like that. E and S to there and extrude it down so it makes contact. And then I'm going to bevel this edge and this edge. Control B, and I just want 3. All right, so that's what I've got. Now I'm going to look on the sides, and I am going to, in face selection and C, I'm going to select those. And on this side, I'm going to select the opposite. So that's 4, right? 4 and 4. I think that should be okay. Or do I want 2 more maybe? Yes, they can stand almost upright. Okay. And then press I to inset, hold shift. Oh, if they do that, press I again. You might be remembering your last use. So I'm going to do something like that. E and Alt S and pull it in like that, and then delete those faces. So I have this Control 2, and I will probably apply that at some point. So I have that hole there like that. All right, so the next thing we'll do is we'll do the antennae themselves. So bring in a cylinder. 16 or 18 is probably fine. I'll do 18. Doesn't need to have a top on it. Okay, just scale it down until you can pretty much match the size. Do it around there. I'm going to grab the bottom edge and pull it down. And I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. Pull that in. Now I'm going to add a mirror to that. And I'm going to get both of them. Then I'm going to rotate. And I think that's still a bit big, so I'm just going to do that until I have it like that. And that's okay like that, I think. I'm going to select those. And I'm going to switch to, I'm going to F to make a face and then switch to normal. And then my X, my Z arrow will follow. Actually, I'm going to rotate a little bit. Okay, so where's the first cutoff? It's right there. Right where I am, actually. It's sometimes a little hard to see. Yeah, okay, well, we'll do one there anyhow. I may take this and just manipulate this so I like it a little bit better. All right, at any rate, yeah. So I'm going to press I to inset and come in a little bit like that. And then E to extrude and come out to about here. So I am off here. Maybe I can rotate again and just position. Doesn't matter that much, but okay, I think I'm back on. Okay, I'm going to press I to inset, and I'll make it a little bit smaller. And then we'll come off again. Now it's still off, so that's even better right there. Okay. And then we'll do the tip, and I'm just going to press E and S and come out a ways, E and come up. That should be fine. Okay, and then select there and Control B, and maybe add a few segments like that. Okay, and then just go down and bevel. And I will probably bevel that edge, and I'm going to switch back to global. And with 3. Okay, I'll do that all the way along here. And I shouldn't have to worry about smoothing or the sharp edge. Okay, so just like that. And one more. This and this. And I should be good to just shade smooth, I think. Yeah. Let me just drag an edge loop up and see if that changes anything. I don't know that I did, but let's recalculate. Okay, that gives us our antennae. And then if you wanted to do a design on here, you could. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to switch back to faces, plus. Do I want it there? That's pretty much where it is. I'm going to press I to inset and pull in a little bit. Yeah, I can do it like that. Okay. Loop to a circle, pull in some more. You may get some pinching and some funny stuff. I to inset one more time. Extrude in and delete that face. And then really what you need to do is select the vertex and press GG for edge slide and make it a little bit more circular. GG. GG. And that will help reduce some of the pinching. So I'm just going to go around and make it look a little bit more circular all around. Okay. And then I can maybe take this one, GG, slide that down, and this one. You could even do that one if you wanted to as well, just to reduce the pinching. It's probably okay. And then if you wanted a piece in there to cover it, you could just turn that off and select this edge and have to make a face. And you probably want to eye to inset once, and you've got your thing. You could put like your logo in there or whatever. Okay, so is there anything else? I think we've done most of it. And then what I often will tend to do, let's just hide that, is I'll tend to, aside from the back stuff, put some colors on here in the viewport display just because I think it looks cool. So I'm going to come over here and switch to object and come down to viewport display, and I'll just select a piece, and I'm just going to darken that a bit, make it a little bit more like that. And then I'll take this piece and I'll make it sort of, you know, like that. And I'll take that and I can go to the hex and then copy, Control C, and then all these inset type things, I like to do them the same. So that one and this one and the feet and this and the antenna stand there. Okay, that piece. And this only works on separate pieces, really, if you want a different color. So, for example, on these knobs, I'm going to make them darker black, like that. And then if I want, actually, let's grab that, and we'll work on the other knobs first. And then I'll tell you what I was going to tell you. So I'm just copying and pasting that. I'm going to also want to run that. You would think I would join that. In fact, yeah, but see, some things have subdivisions, some things don't. So, you know, we still have some work to prepare this for texturing, but this just makes it look cool. And you could just leave it like that. Let's go in here and work on this speaker as well. Let's put that black on that, but let's separate this out. So right now it's all the same color, but if I take this piece and P to break it out, and then I take this and change, and that's the only way I could change its color here. I'll actually bring that up in a little bit metallic, sort of. Yeah, it's almost white, but I'm going to Control C that, and I will put that color on the antennae as well. Let's see if it makes any change. Control V. They're very slight. Okay, let's Alt H. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to get rid of it. And what I would like to do on these knobs to make them look a little bit better is take the middle piece here, and I want to put that white on there. So I'm going to have to break them out so they're like separate objects. You probably wouldn't do that in your real, you know, texturing. You wouldn't need to. So I'm going to do that, and I'll do the same thing on these. So I'm going to take this piece and this piece, and I'll just break that out. You could maybe extend that out a little bit further, but I'll just do it this way. I'm not even copying, I'm just putting stuff there. So we get that. And then the screen itself, I could do it down something like that. And then you could change this to whatever color you want, if you want a different color TV. All right, I mean, that's without putting any other graphics on it, but that's basically how to model that, except for doing the holes, which are just more booleans, or do it in texture. All right, so unless I'm missing something, I think I'm going to leave it at that for now, and we'll come back in the next video and see if there's anything we need to fix up, or maybe I'll do those, and we'll do some texturing. All right, so thanks for watching. Take care.